Okay.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. My name is Benjamin Kamagum, and welcome to the sixth session of Music and Mental Health Online Reflections. With me, I have Nicoletta Antonio, and I hope I've pronounced it well, Nicoletta.
Yeah, it's good. Hello, everyone.
Good to see you guys again. The last time we were giving an introduction to mental health, and I hope you guys were able to watch the video that was later on posted in our YouTube channel. And I hope there's something you picked up from it. The last time we had a comment from someone on LinkedIn who was testifying to what music can actually do for him. He said he said whenever he's feeling down, he plays some songs and sings along to them, and surprisingly, the music helps him relieve of a lot of stress. So it's amazing, like when we hear of such kind of feedback, to know that there's someone out there who actually understands or is has applied some of the things that we're talking about, and they've worked for them. So today's topic is about today's topic. Nicoletta.
I can share. Yes. So today's topic, we're just going to talk about common disbeliefs that exist about mental health and wrong vocabulary that we use sometimes, and just underrepresentation in mental health. This means that we all make mistakes when we talk about mental health, like the words that we use or some ideas that we have about what it means to live with a mental health disorder. So we're going to try to clear up the air a bit and just clarify things, what words we can use. So that's going to be the topic today. Yeah.
Awesome. So maybe if I am to start by maybe trying to give an understanding of what we would say call okay, everybody knows what a belief is, but the beliefs that we are probably going to be talking about during this discussion, or the disbeliefs, I think would be evolving around what our culture thinks about mental health and how it is affecting people battling mental health challenges, the tradition and some of the common practices that are going on in our different society or communities that have a negative impact on mental health. So, and when we're talking about disbeliefs, for me, my understanding, I look at it in the direction of attitudes, people's attitudes or attitudes of groups. So if it is religion, if it is tradition or culture, what do our cultural leaders, or what does our culture have to say, about mental health challenges? How do they look at mental health challenges? Because then that affects how the support for mental health, people battling mental health challenges, it affects how the support is given, or if it's actually got at all. In some cultures, like some of the cultures here, and I think it's something common in many other cultures, in other countries, mental health challenges are looked at as a form of demonic possession, or rather a spiritual possession. And sometimes people believe it's the wrath of the gods, when the God is angry, he'll give you a mental health or make you go crazy or something like that. So because of how our cultures look at mental health conditions, it affects how these people are supported, how they are treated. Many times when I used to have the music sessions at mental health units in Gulu here, you'd find that many of the mental health patients were really mistreated in their community, and they were shamed, they were beaten up, they were tied up, and this was because, you know, the community or some of the traditions and beliefs that these people have around mental health challenges deny them the opportunity to actually support these people. So, and that's one of the core reasons why we actually have these online reflections, to help us build our knowledge and information around mental health challenges, so that when we know that this is a mental health challenge and it's not the wrath of the gods or spiritual possession, then we can know what to do or how to react. We can know where to take this person, how to support them, and how to, because many times people think that, okay, once I help take someone to a mental health unit or to a professional in mental health, that's the end of it. But most times that's just the beginning. The journey has just begun, and usually they always need a helping hand each step of the way. When they're given medication, somebody has to be there for them, with them, to help them, to encourage them to actually take this medication on a constant basis. Many times, the recovery process or the healing process can be very, it can feel very lonely. It can feel not worth it, especially when you know, the stigma around your community, how they're looking at you. You feel like, okay, why am I even going on with all of this? Why am I continuing to take the medication that I'm taking? So there is that longing to, people battling mental health challenges want to belong. They want to feel like they're part of a community, they're part of this small or big family. But then many times that's not the case, because, well, they because mostly I think because of the cultural beliefs and what people don't know about mental health challenges. These people don't get the support that they should get, or that they would be able to get better. And I think for us, there's that notion whereby people think, okay, mental health challenges are just for the poor, and the rich people don't actually get mental health challenges. But you'd be surprised at how many people who apparently are wealthy are battling mental health challenges. So I think because of those kind of stereotypes, you find that, okay, people think that, okay, yeah, once you're poor, mental health challenges, you're going to go mad or crazy because you don't have money or you're poor. Of course, poverty is can be one of the triggers for mental health challenges. But then even for the rich, there are many other causes for mental health challenges that we don't look at or we don't know. And Nicoletta, what do you think about, is there anything that I may have left out in terms of the disbeliefs, and maybe you can talk about on your side how it's
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really important to understand the difference between things that we hear every day that might be wrong about mental health, because just because you hear something a lot doesn't mean it's true. That's how stereotypes are created, as Benjamin was saying, and that's how stigma gets created. So starting from how are mental health challenges created? Why do people develop mental health challenges? It's not just something that happens to the poor. It's not just something that happens to people of a specific place or a specific for a specific reason. The thing is that a lot of people think that just mental health challenges are just you being weak, that you have a problem, that you're crazy, that because you're not very strong, you don't have a strong personality, or it's something that you can so easily overcome. It's something that is not that deep. However, we can see that mental health challenges actually can happen because of biological reasons. So if your parents had mental health, was experiencing a mental health illness, for example, like depression or anxiety or anything like that, it's very likely that you will also develop a mental health illness. So this is something that you cannot help. If it's in your family, perhaps you will have it too. And then later there are things that happen in our brain, like our chemistry in our brain, that's a little bit more scientific, but a lot of times people don't understand that it's not a choice. It's not something that I choose to have. It's not because I'm not strong enough. It's something that I just cannot help but develop later in life. And of course, it's because of life experiences, trauma, abuse, living through times that there is war, seeing your parents go through divorce, seeing something very traumatic in front of your eyes, like a friend getting killed, or anything like that. Like this can be reasons why we develop mental health challenges. And then when it comes to the US, as Benjamin was saying, from this side of the world, it's very, very common. So 1 in 4, as I said in the previous session too, 1 in 4 people in the US have a mental health disorder, which again, it's like, if you don't have a mental health challenge right now, then definitely there's someone in your life that you know that goes through a mental health challenge. And then speaking about the whole world, 1 in 7 people go through a mental health disorder. So again, we're talking about 7 billion people here, and 1 in 7, meaning that if we are 7 billion people in this world, 1 billion people currently in the moment experience a mental health disorder. That's a lot of people. So it's way more common than we think. And as Benjamin was saying about what can you do? What can you do to help? It's not just getting them to the help, which already is very good, but there's things that you can do as a person when you know that someone is struggling with mental health. You can be there for them, be their support system. You can reach out and tell them that if they need you, you're available. You're available to help them, that this is okay, that this is normal. You're going to be there for them. This is the first step, and this is very important to do, to reach out to people and say that I'm going to be there if you need me. And then, of course, if they reach out to you, be there, like actually hold up to your promise and be there for them. And then later, helping them get access to some mental health resources, whether that is to get them to a mental health unit or an institution, a hospital, anything like that. Then if you want, you can share with them some facts about mental health, especially if you hear something that is not correct, like that mental health disorders are not common. You know that it's not correct because we just said it. So share with them that this is actually more common, and that's okay. This does not make them not normal, because it's very, very common for people, very usual for them to develop mental health disorder right now. And then after, and I think the most important is treat them with respect, like you would treat with anybody else. Just because someone goes through a mental health challenge right now in their lives or throughout their lives doesn't mean that they deserve less respect, that they deserve the beating up, that deserve to be offended and all this stuff. They deserve the respect as anybody else, and refrain from calling people crazy or weak or vulnerable. This does not make them weak if they go through mental health disorder, let alone I think it makes them very strong, because only if someone has gone through mental health disorder, mental health challenge, knows how much power it takes to go through every day, and knows that it really, really makes you a very strong individual. So the least thing you are is weak. You're actually a very, very strong person. Yeah. That's it.
Oh, that's very informative, Nicoletta. And for me, many times I ask myself a question, and okay. So I have had I've had interactions with people who are battling mental health challenges, and many times you feel like they have this fear for the community, and yet they still love their community so much, you know. you can see it in the tone of voice, how they speak. And sometimes the community reacts out of fear because they're not sure what to do. Somebody's acting in a way that is, it might be new to them. So they will quickly react um, um, with whatever their fear tells them to do. So if you're afraid of something, you're going to try and, like I said, lock it up, or you're going to try and, I don't know, make sure it's uh, not harmful for you. So I think uh, I think on our side we have a bigger knowledge gap, especially when it comes to how to respond or how to react or how to support people battling mental health challenges. And I think because of that, mostly, if you're to look at the gender, you find that the women somehow are suffering the most because a good number of them um, are being sexually violated, especially the ones who are battling mental challenges. You find many of them in their homes are left to wander around without any medication that they've taken, without going to a hospital. So the family feels like their families feel like they are not responsible for them, or because since the gods have punished them, well, it's not up to them to try and piece the gods off or something like that. So I feel like if somebody's out there and is listening to this and watching this, and uh, there's something like this that you have experienced, if you have someone in your family and they're battling a mental health challenge, and for those who might not know what a mental health challenge is, in simple terms, of course, it has to do with your psychosocial or psychological well-being. So imagine someone is maybe talking to themselves, or they have this. If somebody's acting weird, based on how you know them or how you've known them for some time, if they're talking to themselves, if they get these uh, reactions every now and then, and you're not sure exactly what it is, I think before you maybe call them mad or crazy, I think it's better to probably seek for medical assistance for them, help them out. Because one thing I know about, and this is something from experience, when I was battling when I was battling depression, I had people who I trusted. I had people who I knew that when my condition got worse, if they were there with me, I felt more confident, to push forward, to long for getting better. And I feel like every person who's battling mental health challenge has those people around their circles. But then the biggest challenge is that these people don't even know what position, what importance they hold in these people's lives. So you might be a sister to someone who is battling mental challenges. You might be a parent. You might be just a friend or a workmate, or a schoolmate. But then there's a way this person takes you or respects you or treats you, and they're hoping that maybe you could encourage them to get better, or to just go for medical support, or to encourage them to continue taking their medication. And for me, I feel like, yeah, we need to just be more conscious about the people around us, the people that are closer to us. You might be surprised at how much we can actually help them be better mentally, by what we tell them, by what we do with them, how much time we actually spend with them. So yeah, good to see you, Tony, joining in. I know Tony from a music academy that we were part of. He's been my mentor for that academy, and I learned a lot from him. Good to see you, Tony, joining in. So in case anybody has a question or maybe has something that they have to share in regards to the topic of today, we are looking at common disbeliefs, underrepresentation, and underrepresentation and
the wrong vocabulary.
Yeah, the wrong vocabulary. And you know, when you talk about wrong vocabulary, I think that's something really sensitive for me, and I believe for many other people who are battling mental challenges, because these days people have a smarter way of calling people battling mental challenges. It's no longer mad or crazy, but many of them will come and try to talk with you just so that they can get you to react negatively. Like they will try to spark your condition to get worse so that it makes them feel happy. And many times I think some of the things that make people that are battling mental challenges to suffer even more is the fact that we make certain jokes about mental challenges or some of the things that they're going through, and it makes them lose the trust or lose the idea that, okay, I can actually trust someone, or I can actually talk to someone. So simple things like making a funny statement about how somebody's maybe how anxious somebody is, or somebody's low mood, without actually knowing whether it's actually a condition or something that they can manage on their own, something that they can control. So the words that we speak are really, like, somehow they're very important, like for people battling mental challenges. Many people think that, okay, if you're battling a mental challenge, you don't understand anything, or you're not aware of what's going on around you. It doesn't matter what these people are actually doing, like physically. Many times you'd be surprised at how much brain activity is happening within, and how aware they are about what's going on. Sometimes they're battling something they can't come out of on their own, and they really need caregivers or people, a support network, a strong enough support network that can help them, first of all, realize what they're going through, understand that it's something they can't come out on their own, and then some people that can guide them to slowly come out of it. And maybe I can do a short song. There's a composition I did, but it was it's for refugees. But then the chorus is really something nice, and it just talks about not wanting somebody's sympathy, but looking for an actual friend. Because, you know, many times we come and sympathize with people with mental health challenges, and it's just maybe for public fame, or, you know, you want people to see that, okay, I am, you know, I am standing with them, but then in actual sense, you're not of any help to them. And by help, I'm not really talking about financial help or anything like that. Help can come in so many ways. It can come in you spending some time with these people and just, you know, listening to them, you know, you just sharing something inspiring with them, a very short message of you're loved, or you're cared for, or stay strong, you know, tomorrow is going to be brighter. Something simple like that can can change somebody's mind, you know. For me, I speak out of experience. I've had a lot of suicidal attempts, and it's because of these positive messages that I received from friends and from some family members that made me rethink, you know, that negative pattern. And it's really important. Like words do more than we can actually imagine. Okay, so I'll just do the short chorus, then we will continue. I don't want to be your sympathy. All I want is a friend in need, friend indeed. I don't want to be your sympathy. All I want is one simple thing. Give me love, give me love. Give me love, show me love. Together we can change harmful attitudes. Oh, together we can change harmful beliefs and lows. I don't want to be your sympathy. All I want is a friend in need, friend indeed. I don't want to be your sympathy. All I want is one simple thing. Give me love, give me love, give me love, show me love. Yeah, that was Give Me Love. Thanks, Tony. So yeah, Nicoletta, is there anything you want to talk about in terms of the vocabulary?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really love the song. I mean, I love every song I hear from you. It's amazing. I think it's really, really inspiring. Really speaks to your heart, especially when you have battled through some challenges with mental health. Well, but I would say I think one thing that helped me a lot and personally is to change the way I also speak about myself, even when I speak to other people, when I speak about me. So anymore, I don't say I am depressed or I was depressed, I am anxious, because that's not who I am. That's not all me. I am Nicoletta. I am way more than just that. It's just something I experience. So I change it and I say, I'm living with depression or I'm living with anxiety. I'm experiencing it. I'm feeling it. I'm not it. So that really helped me a lot. And I know it has helped other people too, to just take it off, off of your shoulders, to not think that this is what I am, because I'm a full person. You're way more than just the struggles you go through. You have amazing things in your brain and you have people around you. You're a friend, you are a son or daughter, a parent. You're so many more things than just that. So I think changing the way we talk about ourselves helps a lot. Also, I think that it really helps to not use words like verbs like suffering. I'm not suffering from depression because it's not something that is just like, this makes it feel very like negative. You just use again, like I'm living with depression, I'm living with anxiety, because the idea of suffering, you would never say, I'm suffering from diabetes. If you were a diabetic person, you would say, I'm living with diabetes, because that's how you would talk about physical health conditions. I am currently like living with cancer. Like, so it's not something that you have to put it so negatively on yourself. And this is the way that we speak about others too. I know a person who is living with depression, not who is suffering from depression. I think it really, really helps to also not label people as this person is depressed, this person is anxious, because you don't know the whole story. Maybe they experience it, but this doesn't give you the power to go and say that, oh, Nicoletta is depressed. That makes it like, this is my whole identity, and I'm so much more than that. And this is something that you need to remember also. I know it seems like this is your whole world. I know that many times when we experience these challenges, it seems like this is like our whole world is collapsing around us, and this is becoming a whole identity. But it's so important in these moments to remember that you're so much more than that. And that's why changing the vocabulary, the words you use actually help so much more. Just take this off. Take the stigma off yourself. Remember that you're so strong going through this. Change the vocabulary to actually advocate for yourself. When you talk about it with people, say that this is your strength, that yes, I'm experiencing this, but I'm going through it. I can make it. I'm going to make it through the other line. And it's a journey, as Benjamin said, as I've said multiple times, this is a journey. You're just living through it. You're never going to completely take it off you, and that's fine, because it's a lesson. And at some point, we all going to go through challenges like this. So it really helps to use the right words, I think.
Oh, yeah. So I think one other thing I wanted to talk about was about our leaders, and okay, sharing from experience from for people here in Uganda. I feel like I know we talked about this in the previous session, but I feel like our leaders are not very engaged in mental health advocacy. And I think it's something that on our side, we don't look at mental health as something important or something serious to mind about. Many times we spend most of our energies on other things that seem more important than our mental health, and yet many times you find that mental health matters are intertwined in almost everything, almost every sector of life, even with other health conditions. You might find that because I have maybe because I have HIV/AIDS, I'm going to suffer from a mental health challenge because of the stigma around, having HIV/AIDS, or like Nicoletta mentioned, diabetes. I've previously been working with an organization that's supporting diabetics, and you find that many of them present some of the symptoms and signs for a mental health disorder, and most of them come because mostly they are revolved around how people treat them, how hard their health condition is, and how there's not a strong enough support network to guide them, through the process, how they're not aware of how to treat themselves. Many times you find many of them self-medicate, or many of them they are not giving themselves their dosage in the right time, or they don't even have the money to actually get the right medication, because most of them are very expensive, or the machines that they use to check their sugars. So I feel like if there's a leader out there who is maybe watching this, I think we need to re-strategize. I think if we have activists out there who may watch this video, I think it's important for us to speak more about mental health challenges, to help our people understand where to go for support, to help them know that it's okay to talk about what you're going through. it's okay to share your story, because if you're not, if you don't talk about what you're going through, if you don't share your story, you're not going to be confident enough to to make the next step of wanting to recover or seeking help. And like I mentioned in the previous sessions, it wasn't easy for me to publicly speak about battling depression. Being an artist, there are those times when you feel like, okay, if I say I was battling depression, what are my fans going to think? What are the people that are listening to my music going to think? Are they going to laugh at me? Are they going to unfollow me? Are they going to start calling me all these kind of names? But it took a lot of confidence. It took a lot of good friends around me to be more open, um, uh, uh, to be more self-aware of what I was going through, and then to continuously keep taking these steps of healing, no matter how much I fell back. So, and I think that's something really important. If somebody's out there and watching this and they're battling a mental health challenge, um, just know you're not alone. Know that um, if I got out of my depression, and you know, it wasn't just depression, it was substance use disorders all mixed in there, and if I can come out of it, you can as well. um, for those that maybe want to check out my website, I have some profiles or some stories for um, a bipolar patient who I guided through his healing process, and right now he's able to support the family through farming. He's getting better, and it wasn't easy, but then I did what I could, and it just had to involve, like, you know, constantly talking with him, finding out what the challenge is, why he may not picked up the medication, trying to take the medication to them, and just trying to make their process much more easier, letting them know that, okay, if you're battling some challenge, call, you have someone to call. There's a number. If you don't have airtime, beep me and I will definitely see how to call back. So um, yeah, I don't know if there's something that you want to add, Nicoletta.
Well, I just want to say, as you said, that this is not something that people go through alone. And if you feel like you're alone, just so you know that this is very common. I think everybody who goes through a mental health challenge thinks this way. I am the only person who's going through that. I think that you feel a lot of times like perhaps you're a burden. If you speak to someone, you think it's going to be very difficult for them to deal with that, because you think that, well, it's my own problem. I don't want to talk to someone else because then I'm going to be a burden to them. But know that the people that love you care about you so much, and people want to hear your story, and everybody wants to hear your story. You just have to find the right people to say your story, okay? And just keep telling your story, keep fighting for yourself, keep standing up for yourself. And even if there are days that you feel like you're doing so well for so long, and then one day you just can't get out of bed, or you're feeling a little bit more low in energy, you're feeling a little bit more anxious, that's fine. That doesn't take away your progress. That doesn't mean that this is a setback. This is not going to be, from when you start your journey to become better, to feel more like yourself, how you used to feel in the past, it's not just going to go continuing up from there. There are going to be some days that you're going to feel a little bit more lower again, and that's fine. Just remember to keep going and seek out for help for the people that truly care about you, because they really want to hear you. We want to hear you as well. Benjamin wants to hear you. I want to hear you as well. So if you need any help from us, please reach out to us too, because we care about you.
Oh, awesome. I think we we've kind of exhausted almost everything. for today's session. Um, I think one thing I would probably want to mention is Uganda is ranked among the top 6 countries that are having high rates of mental uh, high rates of mental health disorders, but most especially depression. And you'd find that 80% of our youth um, are having substance use disorders, especially addiction to alcohol and drugs, and all these things are triggering other mental health conditions like the depression. So it's something really alarming, and I think we as Ugandans and generally we need to. I think it's something that we need to be aware about, and um, I think the more aware we are, the more we can figure out a better way of reducing those numbers or completely getting them off anything alarming. Um, see, Tony says, as a teacher, he's worked with many people from many backgrounds. It's been useful to hear your stories today for my work with students. Thank you for sharing your experience and expertise. Yeah, it's really, I'm glad, Tony, that there's something that you can actually, that you've learned from us or something that you're taking from us. And especially given the fact that I have learned a lot from you. I've learned how to be more confident when I'm singing. I've learned how to push for my dreams and stay focused. So yeah, it's really I think something I think the reason as to why every time I always have the slogan of love conquers all is because I feel like the reason as to why many of the things that happen that don't happen right in our communities or in our lives, most of them are evolved around how we treat each other. They revolve around how we respond to each other. It doesn't mean that, okay, how we respond to each other is what's going to cause maybe a mental health condition, but then how we respond to each other might affect the length of recovery or the time it will take for somebody to actually get better, or the time it will take for them to probably end their lives, depending on how you speak to them, how you treat them. So I'd encourage us out there to just be more self-aware, more loving to the people around us, especially when we know that they are battling a mental health condition. But also, even when we don't know, I think sometimes it's not good to assume. Sometimes it's just good um, to say good and do good to people. You might just never know. When it comes, like when I was the previous sessions we had, I was talking about depression, and many times you're going to find someone who's battling depression to be very good at putting up a very happy face. Like they will just um, smile, and you will not know what they're actually going through. They will they'll give you a smile that will make you, oh, this guy is really happy, or this lady is really happy, and because of that, I think there are many other mental health conditions that you know uh, have different ways at which they make somebody behave or respond to different things. And because of that, I think we just need to be to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and in that way, just generally working together uh, to to spread love. If you're an artist out there and you're listening and you're watching this recording later on, I'd encourage all our artists to be to be aware of what music you're writing, what's in your lyrics, what's your message towards people. I'm not saying, uh, let all your songs be about mental health, mental well-being, but what I'm saying is, I think it's possible um, to be more positive in the songs that we write, and also in the videos that we shoot. Many times these are things that we ignore, and we follow what, say, maybe a video director has told us based on a current trend. You're like, okay, currently the youth categorized as people who, smoke a lot, taking a lot of alcohol. So in your video, you're going to show that, okay, in my room, I have about 1,000 bottles of whiskey, and then I'm smoking a lot of weed all day, and I'm still okay, which is not true. It's not realistic. Like, nobody can actually live that life. It doesn't matter how much money you have, if you can't control how you actually take alcohol, or how you smoke. If you're smoking, it's eventually going to uh, uh, kill you, or get you damage your body in one way or the other. So yeah, I think we can call this the end of the session for today. And if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to leave any comments. Share this with anybody out there who you think might benefit from some of the things we've talked about. If there's anything that you feel we talked about but didn't talk about long enough for you to maybe understand well, ask the questions, and we will reach out and answer. Special thanks to the university at Buffalo. It means a lot. Because of them, I got to meet Nicoletta, and I don't feel so alone anymore when I'm, organizing these online reflections. Sometimes when when you're doing these things on your own, it can get a little bit discouraging. So yeah, it really means a lot working with you, Nicoletta, and yeah, we hope to see everybody again next
Tuesday.
session.
Next week is going to be a Tuesday one. So yeah.
Tuesday. So we'll be sharing a poster soon. So for those that want to follow our pages, just do so. The name is Benjamin Spartus. So if you're on Facebook, if you're on Instagram, if you're on YouTube, whichever platform you feel is comfortable for you, we'll be sharing a poster there. I know YouTube also has an option where you can actually share a post. So yeah, thank you, and hope you guys have a nice time, and see you again next time.